In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Did you realize that the average age of a car on the highway today is 12 years? We'll be talking about the legendary couple behind the auto shop in Plano next on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as we all know, anytime you have a recession, what happens is people kind of stretch things out, including their cars. And the average age of a car on the highway today is 12 years old, which means a lot of repairs. To talk about that, a legendary local couple, Jerry Kezhaya and Dr. Laura Shwaluk. They are the founders of the auto shop in Plano. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having us. I'm just tickled to death to actually be here today.
Well, you guys are a very famous couple locally. Everybody knows you guys. Jerry, tell us how it all began for you.
Oh, my Lord. So I came to Dallas in 1980, and I had the dream of opening my business here in Plano, Texas. And I started in January 1981, and the 15th of January, it'll be 40 years for us, Jeff.
40 years.
40 years. You know what that means? It just means I'm old. That's what it means.
No, you both look incredibly young, and I know, Dr. Laura, you're a big part of the reason for the success of the shop. Tell us about the culture and what you bring to the company.
Well, let's see. The culture of the auto shop is just a really fun place to work. We have lunch together every day. I cook for them every day, Monday through Friday. And mostly they really like it.
Yeah. Well, and during COVID-19, I guess you guys would be considered essential, so you never closed.
That's correct. We were essential from day one. We never closed. We did not one day were we able to take off, which is great. We're happy that we were able to take care of all of our clients' needs, make sure that any of their automotive issues were taken care of. We had a full team. We sat down with our folks and asked them, who's afraid? Is anybody here afraid of this COVID business? And a couple people were, and I said, okay, I get it, right? I'm in the high-risk area myself because of my age and certain things, and I said, I'm going to be here every day. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that our clients are taken care of, our employees are taken care of. But if you want to take time, you take time. I'll pay you as though you were here until you're comfortable. Well, we never had anybody take us up on it. Everybody has worked the whole time with us, and part of what we've done is we've instituted protocols to make sure that everybody in the company and outside of our company, when you drop your car off or pick your car up, it can be completely touchless if you choose. We disinfect everything. We spray down the pens before you sign them, and then after you sign them, we spray your credit cards if you choose to come inside the building. We have early drop-offs. We put up a cell phone locker unit outside the building. So if you wanted to pick up your car afterwards, you go to our website. You can pay for the vehicle online, right, through a secured portal. Pick up your keys and your invoice and everything in one of those. We'll set it to your cell phone number, and then we'll change the code right after you pick it up, so everything is all secured. I mean, we wiped down the inside of the cars, the outside of the cars with COVID-approved disinfectants and chemicals to make sure that everybody is as safe as they can be. And we've done that from the very beginning, and that's why my wife and I, we started providing lunch for our team. At first, we were just going out to local restaurants, but I thought, the idea of it is we're promoting the team spirit we're helping, we're having daily meetings with our crew, and at the same time we're protecting them from any COVID contamination, because we're not going out to 6 different or 8 different fast food places and bringing that stuff into the building. We're producing it all in-house.
Yes.
And so it was easy for us to do that.
Dr. Laura, tell us about the early days of the pandemic back in March when things started to close. Did business kind of halt for a little while?
Business did go down for a while. I noticed that the number of vehicles that came in each week and each day was down. But what I also noticed is that there were some people that didn't drive their cars for quite a while. So when they went to drive them, the vehicle just wasn't working. And so we had a lot of emergency calls. Hey, my car won't start. Can you send a tow truck? And so there were a lot of panicked calls for several reasons. One is people were already panicked because of COVID. But then when your car doesn't start, that's a big deal,
Yes.
especially if you need to go someplace.
Jerry, you brought some props. What did you bring?
Well, this is part of a little story that we do, and the first one we have different segments of oil here, and the first one, this vial has 0. If you would be kind enough
Oops, here we
to
go.
show Jeff on that.
Okay.
That one has 0 miles on that oil.
Okay,
Would
so
you
it's
shake
clean.
that for us? Shake it really good.
Shake it up, it's down.
There you go.
There you
Now
go.
see what it looks like?
Yeah.
There's almost nothing sticking to the wall.
Yes.
This oil has 500 miles on it. It's 500 miles driven here in Dallas. Now see how the
Yeah.
carbon and burned fluid is sticking to the walls.
Yes.
This oil, Jeff, has 3,000 miles on it. Shake it really good. Look at that. That's
Oh,
3,000 miles.
That's powerful.
And this one has 6,000 miles on it.
This one you'll have to shake.
Shake it really good. There you go. Now look at that one.
Oh, wow.
That one has 6,000 miles on
That's
it.
powerful.
Now, I want you to understand that some manufacturers say that you can go 15 and 20,000 miles out between oil changes.
Really?
If you do that, that's like shoving toothpaste through your engine.
Yes.
And today's
So
high-performance
thick.
engines, look at that. That's just terrible.
That's crazy.
And the most important thing is the oil filters in your car are made out of paper element.
Yes.
So imagine if you have 15 or 20,000 miles on a paper filter.
Mm-hmm.
The filter actually has a bypass valve built into it. So when the paper gets wet and it plugs up,
Yes.
it bypasses and there's no filtration going on at all. And this is why engines are starting to break at 100 and 120,000 miles
Yes.
today, because they just don't have the proper lubrication.
That's a great demonstration. I know you're a very popular feature on local television and national television. We're going to roll a clip right now. This was it New Mexico, Arizona? I'm trying to remember where.
In Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow, that's really cool.
Casey Messer.
Yeah, yeah. So it's got to feel good to educate people through the airwaves the way you do.
I love doing it. I love teaching people. I've been doing it a long time. I actually started teaching women's car care for the city of Plano through their Parks and Recs department in the mid '80s.
No kidding.
I have, I've got some. We have some newspaper clippings that have been framed and put on the walls inside the office.
Yes.
And they show one's from 1987 where I'm doing show and tell on an engine
Wow.
for a group of gals.
I knew you and I both grew up in Detroit, and it got really, really cold in Detroit. It can get cold in Dallas-Fort Worth, and people have to winterize their car, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, they sure do, and you have to do that. Okay, so here's something that people don't want to know, they don't want to hear, but I'm going to tell you anyway. That long life coolant, the stuff that they tell you lasts forever, it doesn't. Please change it every 2 to 3 years maximum, because when you don't, Jeff, what happens is the chemicals start breaking down and it becomes acidic, and it starts eating the engine and the radiator from the inside out.
Wow.
And these high performance vehicles that you think, well, it shouldn't be high performance, but every car is designed to be high performance today. They have smaller engines producing more and more horsepower,
Yes.
and have greater demands on them. So the radiators are high performance, everything's high performance today, and it starts eating them up. And a radiator can be almost $1,000.
Wow.
And you don't have to spend that. Simply change and flush your coolant every 2 to 3 years. It'll keep you out of all that extra expense you don't need to spend.
And Dr. Laura, when we all were growing up, people still worked on their own cars. You can't. I mean, you almost need a computer degree to work on a car these days, don't you?
There are so many. There are hundreds of computers in cars now, and so being able to work on it yourself really is a thing of the past. And then one of the things also that we teach is we have a special event called Women, Wheels, and Waffles. And Women, Wheels, and Waffles is a very fun event. It's strictly for women because then we can relax a little bit and enjoy learning about vehicles. And that's one of the things that you'll learn about your vehicle is the computers in your vehicle, because that's something that's really, really important. That's actually one of the reasons why it's not good to jumpstart a vehicle anymore.
Really? I didn't know
Because,
that.
yeah, that little spark can destroy all or some of the computers in your vehicle. And that's a very expensive thing to fix.
Really good information, and I encourage everybody to follow them on social media because they're very active. In fact, there's a clip that I want to roll right now that really tickles me. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, this is Jerry Kezhaya at the Auto Shop in beautiful Plano, Texas. And you know, we've got a very interesting vehicle here today. We have a Range Rover that was brought in because the coolant indicator shows that it's low on coolant. And when our techs brought it in, we found a treasure chest, a complete bevy of milk-bone dog biscuits, and that have been clearly nibbled on, and not just any dog biscuit. I'm telling you, these things here are 4.5 inches long. So whatever is up here and pulling this in, we've talked about rodents under the hood. This is clearly an example. Look at they're stashed way down here. I've got some stashed way back here by the behind the engine, by the firewall. We got probably, golly, it looks like at least 30 of them, maybe more, just in this area. Maybe it's even 40. I know we're going to take them out and count them. And we got some over here in this. I mean, these things are all over the place. The good news is you can see that wherever it is chewing up these biscuits, which I guarantee you when we get into this and we open it up, you're going to see some wires that have been chewed up and possibly a sensor or something. And you know, all of this can be completely prevented. Rodents are a huge problem right now. We talked to our friends at the pest control shop. We work on all their vehicles, and they're telling us that rodents are a huge problem this year, that we had such a mild winter here in the Dallas area, and they just keep making more rodents. Apparently they like to do that. So if you think you're going to have a problem, or if you live in a wooded area, or in this case, out just in a big area, big houses, man, bring it by. Let's put some of that rodent repellent to keep these from happening. We've had cars come in and they completely destroy the wiring harness, and the cars have to be towed in. You can see here that whatever it is, it's big. There's big tracks here in the dirt. This thing has got a serious footprint, whatever the heck it is. So we'll update you with more video. In the meantime, come see us at the Auto Shop at Jupiter and Plano Parkway. Give us a call at 972-578-0588 to make an appointment, or you can even go online at www.theautoshop.com, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Wow. So I was asking you during that clip, who put I thought the owner put them in there.
No, the animal. Whatever the animal was that was eating those, it would steal them from the dogs. Because the guy lives on several acres. He has like 6 or 7 dogs.
Right.
And whatever animal it was that was eating them would hide them in the vehicle. And I think there were 180 or something total.
Yeah, there was 110 just in that one
area. I had never
area.
seen anything like it before. Yeah.
Well, I applaud you both as marketers to look at that opportunity to make a video. And Jerry, you're a natural on camera. So are you, Dr. Loria. When you saw that, did you say, I've got to turn this into a marketing clip?
Oh, absolutely. So what we do is we have our guys, our technicians, we tell them, listen, anytime you see anything that I can film and put it out there and it's going to be good on the camera, please let me know I'll stop whatever I'm doing, because I think it's important that people see that stuff like this actually happens.
Yes.
We had one judge, he had squirrels or rats tear up his wiring harness 4 different times in his Lincoln. His insurance company said, we got to do something different, because each time it's $4,000 because they tore up the whole wiring harness. What people don't understand, what you want to know is the wiring in the old days were made out of rubber or vinyl.
Yes.
Today they're made out of a chemical made from canola oil. So rodents think it's a food product. That's why they eat the heck out of your wiring harnesses. So there's chemicals that we use to prevent rodent damage on cars.
Well, one of the things things I want to congratulate you both on is just running your business with integrity. I know we're Rotarians, and there's a creed that we all live by, but you don't stay in business as long as you have by cutting corners or not doing the right thing.
Oh, Lord, no. First of all, this is a tough business. This is not a get-rich-quick business. I'll promise you that. We work on such small margins as a general rule. But, everybody thinks that... for a while, I stopped telling people what I did when I went out to parties because everybody has a horror story from a mechanic. We don't do that. We have no issues with that. We have apps that when we're working on your car, Jeff, we'll bring it in, our technicians will take pictures of it, and we'll send you those photos in an app so you can actually see what we're seeing on your car. And if you ever have any questions, please come by. We'll come pick you up. We'll show you the car. We'll explain everything to you to make sure that you understand what it needs and why it needs it, why we're recommending it. And if your car doesn't need something, it'll never get replaced or serviced at our place. It just won't happen.
And this is how they've been doing business in January, like Jerry said, it'll be 40 years. He started the business in 1981. And so to be able to be in business that long in the auto repair industry, you've got to be an honest shop.
Yeah, and I find, and I think most of your customers would agree, that once you find an honest mechanic, they're your mechanic for life.
Oh, they're gold. They're worth their weight in gold. They really are.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are wonderful. We're going to put your website up so everybody can get in touch, theautoshop.com. Jerry and Dr. Laura, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
It's a great day to be on the road.
That's it. That's
Great day for an oil change.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.